Okay, so I think we should be live right now, and I'd like to welcome all of you here for this one more interview for the Code for Life tour. We're, the Java Europe tour. We're traveling around Germany and in Switzerland and Spain, and we tried to go to Italy, but that didn't work out.
I should join you.
You should come with us, right? It's almost the end of the tour now. So Chris is saying that Chris already said hello here. He's saying that sorry for missing the last few days, but at least you got here. We're still going to do some more interviews in Malaga. I just received it from Luis, responsible for the Jay on the Beach event in Malaga. That's going to be cool.
Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. So Jay on the Beach is like so you go on the beach, right, in Malaga, and you get the Wi-Fi from the event because it's right there. Right, like so it's really Jay on the Beach. So at Jay on the Beach, we're gonna be there. Me, Otavio, Edson. We're gonna be speaking about all kinds of cool stuff. And Luis just sent me a long list of people that he wants me to interview there. So we're gonna have more interviews for you later this week. But right now, echo. There's echo. Oh, because your microphone is up. Can you?
Is it still up?
Can I mute you? Okay, I know what the echo is. All right, let me see. It's muted. No, it should be.
No, it's muted.
Echo. So I think echo is because the room is a little bit echoey. So let me just kind of put the microphone a little bit closer, and then maybe that's going to be better. And I'll talk not so loud, and then let's echo. I think probably. Okay, let's see. I'm not sure, guys, why it's echo. It's okay at the moment. Okay, good. So maybe I'm just going to speak a little bit softer.
Thanks for letting us know.
Yes, thanks a lot. Okay, so this was Marcus and Chris and Ian. So welcome everybody. So I'm here with a good friend. Actually, we're just comparing notes on when we met each other. I think we've met through a common friend, Fabiani. And so Toni Epple, and Toni is a Java champion, a NetBeans Dream Team member, a Java 1 rock star. On the back here, you can see his Duke's Choice Award winner. So he kind of won the Oscar of the Java technology. Yeah, right?
Yeah, that was pretty exciting.
It's pretty exciting. Okay, so we're going to talk about all those things, but we want to hear your questions. And so feel free to ask things. So I had Marcus saying he said two session parallel. Oh, okay. Right, that's what.
So that's where the echo is coming from, right?
The echo is about yourself. Okay, good. All right. Okay, so that's really cool. And so just let you know that we have all the previous interviews. If you missed any of them, you have all the previous interviews on code4.live, and you just go there and you have a link to all of the previous interviews to talk about. But it's very nice that we are here. That's why we're traveling around Europe, and we're here to get cool people, great developers, so that you can talk directly to them. So the whole idea here is making questions. You make your questions, and I'm just here to read whatever you say, guys. So, all right. So Toni, thanks a lot for receiving us. It's amazing to be here in your office, in your city. Thanks a lot.
It's great that you dropped by. It's the first time that you're here in Munich, right?
Yes, it's the first time.
Or at least at my office.
Yes, it's the first time in your office. It's the first time in Munich. It's my second time in Germany, though. Actually, You know what? It's my third time in Germany. You know why? Because we went to Switzerland and came back. So, so it's my second time in Germany this week.
Oh, right. No, I got it.
Okay. So, Toni, I'm going to start asking you about this, this Duke's Choice Award that you got, right?
Okay.
So, can you tell us a little bit about the project that you're working on, and why you got this cool prize?
Okay. The Duke's Choice Award was we received the Duke's Choice Award for DukeScript.
DukeScript, right?
DukeScript.
Yes. And
DukeScript is basically our solution to run Java everywhere again. Because I'm a Swing developer, old school Swing developer, and then I was doing some JavaFX and always waiting for it to be on mobile phones and stuff like that. But we wanted to have a solution to program in Java and be able to run on mobile devices like iOS, iPad, Android phones, and so on. And that's how we started coding this project. And it started off with Back to Browser by Jaroslav Tulach, who created a Java virtual machine that was running in the browser.
That's pretty cool.
So you can run Java applications without having a plugin.
Right.
That's pretty amazing.
And what was this written on? JavaScript?
No, it's written in Java, but it compiles to JavaScript.
It compiles. So you have a Java virtual machine written in JavaScript.
Kind of written, yes, running in JavaScript.
Running JavaScript. that's pretty amazing Java, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But we found out that that this technology that we use for separating the view from the model from the business code was really applicable to many more things, architectures, technologies. So what you need is basically a Java virtual machine and an HTML5 capable renderer.
Nice. Okay.
So in case of Back to Browser, this was the browser, obviously.
Right.
And on Android, you have a virtual machine, Java virtual machine, and you have HTML renderer components.
Okay.
And the same is true for iOS. You have RoboVM or now OpenJDK or Avian or some virtual machine implementation, and you have a UI renderer that can render HTML5. So we said it's perfect. Combine these two. You have a clean separation between view and business code, and you can run on almost any device, Raspberry Pi, whatever.
Cool. That's so. And basically, you do audio development in Java, in Duke scripts, in HTML5. What you use to actually develop?
I'm using Java to develop, and I'm developing in NetBeans.
Oh, so do you want to show this? Okay.
If you want to see it,
right, so
an application, I can show you.
Yes, right. So let me show. Let me just kind of. Okay, Java and JavaScript sounds scary. Look here. That's Chris saying. Okay. So you know what? I think the camera is kind of didn't get the focus right. Let me just kind of go here, and I think the focus is a little bit better now.
Yeah.
Not much, but yes. Okay. Right. So yes, Java and JavaScript. Okay. So
Java is the language you're programming in.
Right.
JavaScript is just used somewhere where you don't see it.
Okay.
So don't worry.
Right. All right. Okay. So I hopefully you guys can see Tony's screen right there. So you're gonna show. Tell us what you're gonna show there.
So what I'm going to show is this is a view model, and we're using annotations for generating the view model classes. So you just tell the system you want a class that is named level, and it has a couple of columns, a couple of rows, a couple of tiles. It has a Boolean property, a play, and you're basically working with this view model, and everything is done in Java there. And then you've got declarative view definition. And this declarative view definition is done in HTML. So you have this HTML page, basically. And what you do is you bind the elements of the page to the properties of your model. Okay. So whenever the model property changes, the view will automatically update. And you have a couple of bindings that you can use for that. And it works really nice for form-based, enterprise-like applications. Okay. But you can even use it for I mean, a lot of people came to me and said, like, yeah, this is fine for very simple applications, but we have these graphically interactive applications, and can you do it with the declarative style programming? Because typically something like, for example, a game is not done in this programming style, but you very actively render the view and update the view or something. So I created this little game here that to prove that it's actually possible to.
So basically, when you're doing like when you're doing like you said enterprise form, for example, application, you would just kind of do like a normal HTML form and just bind it. That's pretty cool. All right.
So you have these data bind directives here, and you can say like you can bind CSS, you can bind clicks, you can bind HTML attributes. For example, here I have a progress element, and I bind the value to the score property of my data model. So whenever the score property changes, the value will update and the progress will show some progress.
Okay, all right. And you're saying that this is a game, right? So it's probably like a simple form game that asks questions and people answer this kind of thing.
I'm going to start it and show
it. All right. Okay, so oh
So-
man, this looks stunning.
So this is the game.
Okay.
And you can see it has animations and stuff like that. So you can program anything in declarative style programming if you're getting used to it, and actually it's a lot of fun. I wouldn't suggest to use it for game programming mainly. This is really just to show that you can do highly interactive applications.
So keep clicking a little bit so just see it.
Oh, I already won.
You're on.
Because my objective is to find so and so many of these
those guys, right? Okay.
Okay.
Yes. All right. So
basically this is the progress down here that we just saw.
And this is just like an HTML5 interface, but in the back is all
yeah. All the logic is in Java, and just the UI and the CSS and everything that is HTML.
And then so all the logic does not keep going back to the server to get.
Oh no, there's no server involved.
Oh, there's no server involved. It's all local.
This is all local. This is pure client technology.
It's pure client technology, and so you're running.
So what you're seeing here is actually, I should probably mention that, is a JavaFX web view, which is based on WebKit.
Okay.
And inside of it, we are running the HTML page, and this is just a regular Java application that we start on locally on the client. And it can even run self-contained in the browser with this back-to-browser virtual machine. So this is basically on my website. This is the same game.
Oh, the same. Okay.
And it's running in the browser without a Java plugin. So it's
cool. Okay, so so that's running on Chrome. So it's definitely no Java plugin there.
No.
So basically that is the what are you talking about? The Java VM. On JavaScript, kind of weird. Oh man, this
right here. There's a Java VM. The JavaScript VM we were talking about is running here.
It's running right there. That's pretty amazing. Okay.
So you can run the same application on Android, iOS, wherever you want.
Okay. Right. So Chris asks, I wonder what Lucas Eder would say about those annotations. You know.
Lucas Eder.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're using annotations. We're using the Java 6. Annotations, you know, the ones that with annotation processors.
Right. Yeah.
So we generate classes from them. We don't use them the runtime annotations that much.
Okay.
Actually, not at all.
Okay. All right. So for some reason, Marcus says that if you can show that on IntelliJ too. I think he's kind of poking you a little bit.
Oh, you can actually. I just like. 1 week or 2 weeks ago, one guy from the DukeScript community helped me actually running the application from IntelliJ.
Okay.
So everything is based on Maven, so it's no problem. We've got some Maven archetypes that you can use to get started, but the integration in NetBeans is much better, and that is because I know NetBeans much better. So what you can do, I can show you that. If you run the application. I'll make some room for it because iOS unfortunately doesn't have a stay on top feature. By the way, it's responsive.
Yeah. It's very responsive.
What you can do is you have the browser DOM, and you can select elements in here, and you will see the live browser DOM.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And you can highlight stuff. You can even update. You will see all the CSS properties, and you can change them, and they will immediately update in the view. So you can change positions and stuff like that. So the integration with the IDE is pretty cool. So you can even change the business logic, and it will automatically be updated inside of the running application. So it's even better. It's actually even better than JavaScript development, because JavaScript guys always say like, with Java it takes so long, you have to compile, you have to relaunch the application,
right?
And with JavaScript you just press reload.
Right.
We do not even need reload.
Right. You don't know reload at all.
It's just there.
Yes. Let's cut those steps, right? Okay. So it says, does it only work on Chrome? Chris asked this. Does it only
No, it works
Chrome?
in other browsers as well. And
okay.
in the meantime, basically, it may sound like a funny idea with the Java virtual machine running in the browser, but in the meantime, there are tons of Java virtual machines running in the browser. I just came across one new one last week on the Java Champions mailing list. Somebody sent a link to a project that is using Doppio, which is aiming to really have all the Java APIs, full implementation. Back to Browser is just aiming at having a really small profile JVM. But there's also TVM, and we support TVM as well.
Okay.
So there's lots of options actually.
Oh well.
And it makes sense because a lot of people who are doing JavaScript because they want HTML5 and everything get stuck in larger projects because JavaScript is not a language that you can or should use for creating larger projects because it doesn't have it's really extremely cool for animating stuff inside of a website.
Right.
But it's not made for having large multi-person project.
Yeah, because that's really cool. Because actually, instead of you having all those crazy JavaScript frameworks that change all the time and everything, you can have like a Java VM that's based on a standard that's defined, and then your application can evolve as much as you want. But the JavaScript code, it's not going to be like a crazy code that changes every week, right?
Exactly. Exactly, and you have a stable API. You have it's type safe,
right?
So IDE support is much better. So because the IDE knows much more about your code, about the types, so code completion is much better. You get JavaDoc, you get all the nice things that you. I mean, the cool thing is we can even run demo applications inside our JavaDoc.
Oh, that's nice.
That's for example. I'll show you that.
Okay, right.
Really cool.
Yeah, because we're only showing your computer right now. We're not even showing ourselves. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. So you can actually exchange code at runtime. Java can't. Like 99% because without help.
Yeah, we're using there's some Spring project that helps us doing that.
All right. Cool.
Let me have
That's nice. So Abdenor showed hello. So while Toni is looking at to show some demos here, can you guys tell us where you're from? Because Marcus said that it is his city, so I think Marcus is here in Munich. But Chris said that Dusseldorf is his city. So you guys are claiming cities all over, right? So Abdenor just showed up. There's a lot of people here in the room. So can you guys tell us where you guys are from, so we just have an idea and why Toni is here? Are you ready to show things?
Sure.
Okay, right. So what is this?
So this is the DukeScript charts API, and we have our demo actually running inside of the JavaDoc.
Oh, that's nice. So this is the JavaDoc for the DukeScript.
And we also have something like JS Fiddle. So this is the source code for it. And
so you can actually change the source code live?
Not in this project, but we have...
just keep,
okay.
I don't need to change it. That was really cool to have like a, it's amazing that you can have like a live JavaDoc that you can take a look and see how things actually run, and you have the source code right there. That's pretty cool.
So this is very nice, especially for these kind of APIs where you have charts or something like that, and or maps or something like that, because you immediately see how it looks like. And we also have another project that is called Due, Development Environment for Web, and which is basically something like JS Fiddle. If you know JS Fiddle, that's where for the guys who don't use HTML, CSS that much, if you ask a question on Stack Overflow about HTML, CSS, there's probably going to be a link to JS Fiddle where you can see the solution working in action, and you can change the code. And something like that we've got as well. Okay. So you can code in the browser, and there's Java.
That's the thing you're going to show then?
I'll have to look it up, actually.
All right, so you're going to look there. So I see Prasanna say that he's from London, and then Marco say that he's from Munich, Bavaria. So I thought Munich was in Germany, though, not in Bavaria. But
is this Marcus Beal?
I think it is. He's going to be. So Mark is going to be here with us in a couple of hours, and then Abdenor said that he's from Munich, but he's in Frankfurt today. So that's the cool thing about the online things, right? Because you don't actually need to be in a certain place to actually enjoy this. So thanks Abdenor to be around with us, even though you're traveling today.
So let me see if this example. I'm just using a random example.
Okay.
So what this is doing is it's compiling the Java code here.
Okay.
And it's compiling the Java code using Java C in the browser.
Okay.
And now you can edit some code and update, save, and run. So for example,
you can see the results right here, right? So Jarda and
so it's a very simple example here, right? Simple application. I just looked for a random one. So here the data model, we can update the data model and put Bruno in here.
Okay, that's nice. All right.
Bruno and Jaggy and Edson.
Let me see if you know how to write Otavio.
Oh no, I just know this.
That's good. That's good. Yes, that's fine. And
also me.
Yes. Oh, you don't know how to write your name. Okay.
Yeah, obviously I don't. And you can rerun the application. You can actually see that it's compiling and it's running the code in here. So we also have our own JS fiddle. Actually, there are some samples. For example, I've written a book on DukeScript, and some of the samples in the book are available as these little projects on Duke. And they are also stored as gists on GitHub.
Okay.
So if you have a GitHub account, you can create your own exampple and store them and share them with somebody via the
That's URL. Pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay. So that's one more tip for you. That's you're a developer and you're trying to show your code to other people, and maybe you're doing like a training or something like this, or examples in your project. Then you can use this deal.
Yeah, it's really
all right. Pretty nice. Okay, so
so that's DukeScript in a nutshell.
Yeah. So Carl is from Nottingham, UK.
Yeah.
That's Brian, and that was Marcus BL. He was right. So Bavaria is a kingdom, is it?
We love to think that it's a kingdom. At least it's a Freistaat.
It's a what?
Freistaat.
It's
a free state.
Oh, it's a free state.
So yeah, we have our own constitution.
That's nice. That's neat.
So it's overruled by the German constitution, but still we have it. Constitution.
All right. Okay.
And we used to have a king, but we don't have him anymore. We carry him in our hearts all the time, König Ludwig.
Okay.
But yeah.
That's nice. How long ago was that? And it's recent?
Yeah, end of the century before last.
Okay.
Was the end of
then okay, that's nice. So don't tell.
And not only the Bavarian kings were not only kings of Bavaria, but sometime they were even kings of Greece.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's why we have all this Greek stuff in the city.
Bavaria is a kingdom again with its own wall. That's Chris saying.
Bavaria is a kingdom again?
Yes, with its own wall. I'm not sure.
It will be a kingdom again.
Oh, will be. Oh, will be. Okay, right. We will be. All right. Okay.
Yeah, there are some people who want that, but we won't get into politics.
Right. Yes. Okay. So let's change subject before there's a. Okay. So Tony, so all of these, so the DukeScript is like very, very cool. That's why you got the Duke Choice Award for. So congratulations. Is that how many people are involved in the project?
Well, it was mainly started by Jarda and me, and I'm basically have the commercial arm because the core technology of DukeScript is part of NetBeans.
Right. Okay. Nice.
And that's also why we have a strong connection to NetBeans, not IntelliJ. But you can use IntelliJ or Eclipse with it. And we've got some community members who contribute. Like there are some students who work with it.
Project.
It's an open source project. Like last week or so, we some guys contributed a new API, an alternative charts API similar to this one, and we've got some community members who created a Maps API. We've got a business partner who creates controls for us. It's called Controls for J, and they also have what you see is what you get drag and drop editor for that, with business components, and actually they are not using HTML and CSS at all, but they have an intermediate language that is very easy to use with visual tools. So we've got business partners and we've got customers who use it, and we offer support and consulting for Duke School.
Okay, that's really powerful. It's lovely that you have a community around it, and
yeah,
and
it's starting to build. It's still small, but it's really picking up. And I think one of the most important things is that we actually have customers who use it in commercial products.
Right,
and
it makes a big difference. Yes,
that makes a big difference.
Okay. All right, so that's one of the discussions, but one of the things that we're trying to here is kind of give some suggestions to developers or things that they could improve their careers and improve their development. And you run, I'm not even sure how that's going right now with all the changes in around Java.net, but you run for a long time with Fabiani Nardon, the Java Tools community in Java.net.
That's right.
And so that was a community where a lot of very cool tools showed up. Even Hudson started in the Java Tools community, and a lot of other very, very important Java projects started there. And I think, didn't you do a Java 1 presentation where you had tool ideas for improving your program? No, it wasn't that you, right? I thought it was Fabiani, like a Java 1 presentation where you got like tools from Java Tools community and kind of did. Fabiani did this, right?
Wasn't me.
I think Fabiani did this. Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about the tool marketplace around Java? I know there's the big tools like NetBeans, Eclipse, and IDE, but there's a whole lot of small tools for developers, right?
Yeah. Getting back to Fabiani and career advice and something like that, I think it's really important, and that was extremely important for me to be part of the community. And I was working. I'm a geneticist, and I was working as a geneticist. And I was working as a bioinformatic engineer, basically, programming like DNAs, working with DNA sequences, comparing them, building gene networks and stuff like that. That's how I started programming.
So when you think that this community is crazy, we're very crazy people, we find out even crazier stuff, right? Cool. That's so nice.
And I started. I wanted to have a reporting tool, a very simple reporting tool, and I started to program it. And I wanted to host it somewhere. It was open source, so I hosted it on Java.net.
Right.
And sometime.
So you're already doing in Java, of course.
Yes. Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So, all right.
Yeah.
Just
only the best language. So Fabiani invited me to show my project. So we had some email conversation, and she invited me to show my project at Java 1 at the Java.net community booth. Okay. And I went there, and she introduced me to many really nice people, including Bruno here. Okay. And she asked me to help with the Java Tools community, so I decided to help there, and I got to know a lot of people, and also people who asked me if I could help them with their projects because they got to know my skills, and this is what made me confident to start my own company and a consulting business. So basically, this all started with the Java community and with Java.net, and so. We were running the tools community for a long time, and it was really great. Okay. And I'm really grateful to the Java community, and that's also the reason why I'm trying to contribute back and host events and do stuff like that.
That's pretty nice. So we usually end this interviews asking like the one thing that you did in your life that kind of completely changed your career, so other people could. And you already just said that, right?
Yeah. Visiting Java 1 is really, really nice.
So you just answered that question way before I actually asked that. So that's pretty nice. So basically, participating in the community helped you jumpstart your whole thing.
Yes.
But as a geneticist, and you learned to program, and you came out to the Java world and everything. How much? I have no idea. I don't have anyone in the family or any actually close friends that are from the biology side. And how was it for you to come when you got into the Java community?
Yes.
You start learning how to program everything. Were you well accepted and it was easy to talk with people? Was when you're just beginning?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was never a problem. Everybody is there's nobody there who will just like judge you because you didn't start programming career that is just like following this path, but that's taking some detours.
Right.
For me, I always wanted to be a programmer, but I took a detour.
That's nice. Yeah, because one thing that I see in the Java community, a lot of times you see in some other language communities or some other tools community, people that are like, really rude, or or even the whole community kind of think that the heroes, those guys that come on stage and talk badly about the whole community. And I think on the Java community, the whole thing is very friendly.
Yes.
Right? Everyone is trying, even when we have some issues with vendors, for example, or when we had issues with Sun or even with Oracle, everyone tries to be very, very constructive and kind of very open to discussions, we think.
That's true, and I was really surprised to see. I mean, if you're getting around, you also get to see other communities, and for me, this was the first one to meet. So I was really surprised that it's different.
Okay.
In other communities.
That's nice. Yeah.
Java community is definitely very good.
Okay. Right. And the good thing is that the Java user group. That's why we're doing this tour around Germany to visit several Java user groups, and I think it's nice that the user group community is really strong and kind of helps get this feeling.
Yeah. So if you want to meet Java developers in person, then in Munich there's lots of opportunities. Like right now we're planning to start a new Java workshop series. That's a very new announcement. It's probably going to start in June.
Okay.
Where we have like monthly meetings with 2 hours where you can just we have one topic, and we do some tutorials, and you bring your own laptop and start hacking with us.
That's nice. So you've been doing lots of hackathons like this, or like hacking?
So I do workshops. I do workshops a lot, and we're doing the NetBeans Day in Munich, where around 100 people come. But in Munich, unfortunately, we cannot have laptops, because for 100 people the power supply is limiting, and we do not have the rooms for that. But Oracle hosts this in their facilities, and it's great for having talks. So it's basically a two-track, one-day micro conference.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And,
so we're going to do NetBeans Day in Java Brazil in a month from now, right? So if you guys are watching us anywhere near Brazil, or some NetBeans people that would like to come for Java in Brazil and come to NetBeans Day, there is. So Gertens is already organizing this and everything. That's pretty nice. And one thing, talking about community in general, the NetBeans community itself is a pretty interesting community, right? You have Gertchen, for example, does amazing work in joining everyone together and get people to contribute, to participate on documentation and translation and all those kind of things. So for you, how important it was for you to participate, NetBeans is the example, but to participate on open source project in general, because you kind of started by open sourcing your own stuff, or you were already participating in open source project before that?
Well, I was mainly using open source projects. I was not participating that much, actually. But I started with my own project. I also started participating in NetBeans. Like, I mean, participating. What is participating? You can start participating by reporting bugs in a nice way. Yes, with a test or something like that. That's a great way of participating in an open source project. You do not have to contribute code. A test is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a lot of times people can say, "Oh, but I'm not sure what I can contribute." But every single open source project needs some basic things, right? Needs tests, right? Yes. Every single project needs documentation, right? There's no project say, "Oh, this project has so many documentation, we don't need anything anymore of that," right? So every project needs documentation. Every project needs translation to different languages. So there's all kinds of small things that you can start doing, that you can start contributing. And I think this has been. I mean, there's all kinds of different ways for you to get into open source, right? So what was your way? You actually put a project out there, but how did you, for example, let's say NetBeans, how did you start contributing to NetBeans? What did you do first?
I started, first I started using it, and I was using NetBeans platform, and then I started doing presentations, and then I started, together with Hertian, driving around Europe, visiting universities, and giving free trainings there.
Okay.
So we gave like, probably like 40, 50 courses over the years in different places all over Europe, like in Amsterdam. We were in Poland. We everywhere around Germany, obviously, and that was a lot of work, actually.
Yeah.
So in retrospect, it was always like a 3-day training. Then you had to get there, you had to get back, and I did that on my own expenses.
Oh, yeah.
So you can tell I was really excited about community, and I still am. Even though I don't have the time to do these trainings anymore, I still go to conferences, go to universities. Like next week, I'm going to give a course or help with a course at the university in Bonn, where they use Duke Script for teaching, like how you write tests and stuff like that. So this was basically my start. I really did lots of. I started by giving lots of courses at universities.
That's nice, and of course, now that you know you have your own company and you have your customers and everything, there's the things that you did in the past by going to university. They still need to do this, right? So I'm sure if you're watching us here and you know you would like to like pick up on Toni's work, for example, and go visit more universities or whatever you are in your country, in your city. I think this is a really good thing to do, is like kind of visit universities, visit also technical schools. And one of the things that I do a lot is that I've learned, you know, all those years giving presentation, I've learned that I'm only comfortable with giving a talk when I present at least 3 times, right? You know, because the first 2 or 3 times I think everything is wrong. I don't like the flow of the talk. And so what I do is that I go to universities and technical schools and those places where they are always looking for good speakers and everything. And you know, instead of just kind of getting there with a ready talk, I go there and say, look, guys, I'm trying to prepare this talk, and let's discuss some ideas and everything. And you do like a discussion. And or you do like your initial presentation. So that's a great way for you to improve your speaking engagements and actually, like you said, you know, you jumpstart your whole career.
Yeah, and they are also really they really enjoy it, and they are really thankful for that, because at the universities or at the technical schools, it's really very often like they do not have the practical background.
Right. Yeah.
So the teachers there, they know that, and they're really very thankful if you help them by bringing in some really practical knowledge that they can teach the theory and everything, but from your daily business perspective, from your work as a consultant on big projects, you know what is important. So you can teach them something that they usually don't see at the university or technical, especially at technical schools.
Right.
So if you can go there, they will really be very thankful for that.
Yeah, it's a win-win situation. Chris, I should say, the very true. In you, if you try to get a good flow into the talk, and you know, I've had like terrible talks recorded in big conference. I'm not gonna name because you guys gonna try to find it. But I have a couple of very recorded talks on big conferences that like just completely crash and burn. Right. Me too. And so I've learned in my so Marcus says, so are you gonna do like the Java lightweight NetBeans workshop series? Is that how it was called? No.
What is that?
I think he was talking about when you did your tour. It says the Java lightweight NetBeans workshop series.
Yeah.
So it's a cool name, right? Maybe you can use that.
It was called the NetBeans. We invented the NetBeans platform certified training there.
Oh, certified training. That's pretty nice.
So you would get a certificate just for being there, and you could get a better certificate for doing a project and showing it later on. And
nice.
So you could be associate, engineer, or whatever.
Nice. Pretty good. Yeah. One of the things that we did with NetBeans at some point is that we did like the NetBeans code challenge kind of thing. You know, you could write plugins about it and everything. And so I think we did a worldwide one, but we also did one in Brazil and you know the guy that won that won in Brazil, he was actually he was a Java developer, but he never working on Java. He was working on some other language because he couldn't get a job on Java, and he won that award, and he got a job. You know, he was invited to work because he just participated on a NetBeans contest. So there's lots of ways for you to start. Okay. True. So let's kind of switch gear. I'm not sure why you brought this here. You're gonna show this for something?
This one, I can show that.
Okay.
This is another.
You gotta show up. Yes.
This is another. This is a hardware output of a DukeScript application. Basically, I have a DukeScript application that can control my sewing machine.
Oh, that's so cool. All right. So this here is DukeScript done.
Yeah, this is done by DukeScript. I want to be able to show at Java 1 how to create your own basically marketing material.
Okay.
By using DukeScript.
All right.
So there's a special format that the sewing machines understand, and I had to somehow
Yeah, and you can see here in the back that's all the lines go up and down, anything like that. That's really nice. Okay. Huh. That's cool.
I put a video on YouTube where you can see how it's actually stitching.
So one thing that's, you know, you're showing here all those animations and HTML and things like outputs into lines in the cloth. And how important do you think it is, all those experiments? Because, you know, you're talking about a lot of experimentation, you know, just to get. I mean, you don't actually, do you use this here for like officially?
No.
You don't sell T-shirts, right?
No, I don't.
So I mean, so you're doing all these experimentations to try out the things that you're building. As a developer, why do you think experimenting is so important for all of us?
First of all, it's fun, and it's if you do something that you enjoy, it's a really nice way of learning new things. So for me, if I do always business applications, I will never learn what else you can do with CSS and HTML and stuff like that. So you move the limits of what you know. You move your horizon basically.
But move, kind of moving the limits of what you know, isn't this scary? I mean, it is, right? You know, you're gonna go. I mean, you
will find out that there's everything that you look at and that is looking very simple from the outside is actually very complex in the programming world.
Right.
And you gain a lot of respect. Like, for example, there's whole new communities. You think about like, well, how hard can it be? This is a 2D matrix, and how hard can it be to sew this? And then you find out about all the stitching patterns, sewing patterns, and how they are used to using supporting stitches, and there's whole classification systems for these stitches and everything. And
I'm sure there are events about stitches.
It's really scary. There are events about that, definitely. There are big communities.
Yes, I know.
and you learn a lot, and you get respect for people who do that kind of stuff professionally, because you can see this is not very professional yet. But still, I'm proud.
Yet.
But still, I'm proud that I was able to do that.
Right. So I mean, when so you're kind of pushing your limits of what you know, and then you get into areas that you don't know, and then you know, a lot of people just kind of say, oh, I don't know, because a lot of times you're a respected Java developer, you know, working on this big company, and then you're gonna go do stitches, and then you're a lousy.
I'm a lousy,
crappy stitcher guy. So isn't this bad for your career? Or it's actually good for your career?
No, it's good for my career. I mean, the best example is I was a bioinformatics programmer.
Right.
I started a project with Jasper reports, and this gave me a new career, basically. So by experimenting, I got my job.
That's nice.
And
that's really cool.
I continue to experiment.
Yes.
Because I want more new jobs.
You want more new jobs, right? That's what you're looking for. You know, you have your company. So
look at 2 companies. Actually.
Yeah. So Wilson here says that's why it's important that companies offer 20% of the employee time for them to work and experiment on their own. It's not many companies do this,
Even if they don't. I mean, I've got a friend here in Munich who's just right now working on a project about robotics, and he's doing it in his spare time. And he's hanging out here sometimes, and we're doing some stuff with DukeScript and robots. And that's you can do it in your spare time if your girlfriend allows or boyfriend.
Yeah, that's another thing. A lot of times we see developers, and I was talking with this on the user group in Building Secrets yesterday.
Yeah.
A lot of times you get develop, anyone, but especially in the development world, that happens also. Is people kind of outsource their career decisions to someone else, right? They kind of say, oh, when my company gives me 20% of their time, then I will do something, right? Or a lot of times we get people to say, oh, I would love to help you on your user group, but I don't have the time. Oh, my boss doesn't give me the time, or something like this. And actually, it's all us, right?
Yeah.
We're the ones that have to take responsibility and find the time, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice thing of an employer if he gives you that time.
Yes.
But you shouldn't rely on it, and you definitely can't rely on it.
Right.
Here in Germany, I probably don't know any company here in Munich except Google that will give you some time.
And even Google, if you talk with Google employees, you're going to find out that's not, it's not, it's definitely not across the board, and it's, it's
no, and if it's a fun project like that, or if you find a project that you can use somewhere. I mean, I know a lot of guys who are using Raspberry Pi to do home automation and stuff like that. They found an area that is somehow useful in their real life. Not really, because if you take the time, if you account for the time that they spend, they would be able to buy some really expensive gadgets.
Right. Yeah.
But still, they're doing something that they can use and still learn something in the process of doing that.
Yeah, a lot of times, as I saw, and this is true everywhere, right? I saw the other day, I was seeing this video of this father that made like a very cool bed for his two kids and two girls, and it was like a kind of forest and with all kinds of tunnels and like this really cool project. And and so the guy's daily life, he's a carpenter, right? And so he's taking actually time to do a cool thing for the kids, something that he can't just go and buy. Out of, if you count his time, he could actually buy a really nice bed for them.
Definitely.
But nothing remotely close to what he built, right? So I mean, a lot of times just kind of using the thing that we know to do things for other people. Sometimes that's why community is so important. Sometimes, right?
Exactly. They can help you. They can help you with that. They definitely help you getting started. If you start a new project and you need help. For example, there's a lot of topics that I don't know much about, like the hardware related stuff. But I know people who know a lot about that and who can help me with that. And that's the great thing about community.
Nice. Okay, so now let me kind of switch gears a little bit. We kind of went into this whole discussion about community and career and all that. But right now in the Java world, you're seeing that we are coming out with Java 9 now with all the new features and everything in Java 8. So how are you seeing the Java world itself? Are you already using Java 8? Is all your tools already Java 8 ready? Are you looking for Java 9? Are you using OpenJDK? How is Java for you right now?
Well, I'm mainly using Java 8.
Okay.
Well, and the cool thing is, my customers, most of my customers, I also do consultancies for Java projects and stuff like that, are using Java 8.
Okay, cool.
So
I think Java 8 has a very strong addition curve, right? I mean,
adoption curve. It used to be different, at least here in Germany. It took a long time for projects to switch to new versions of Java, but Java 8 was one of the versions that was really eagerly awaited, and everybody was really happy with it.
Cool.
And I mean, just the events about how to learn how to program with Lambda or with streams, that was everybody was going there. Everybody was so excited. I mean, we waited long enough for
So the excitement kind of built up,
it
right?
built
Yes,
up,
yes.
yeah. And everybody was eager to try it out, and I hope this is going to be the same for Java 9.
Okay, that's pretty cool. All right, and and how about the big Java project? You know, like OpenJDK, or you know, you're doing. I know you're working with
We're using OpenJDK, yeah,
okay.
mainly. Yeah, and I mean, it's that was also really a fantastic step forward for us. So for Java becoming more and more open source, and I was doing a lot of JavaFX programming, and well, that was also a great step by step open sourced, and we could use the sources, we could work with them, and that was a really great step.
Okay. How about server side? Do you have any customers doing server side stuff, or you're mostly?
Well, my customers all do server side stuff,
right.
but
I
mainly work on the client side.
Yes.
But what we have in DukeScript is we have some really nice ways of talking to REST web services, also via annotations. So it's basically the same that you have on the server. We have annotations to basically annotate endpoints, and that will generate a method, and you call this method, and your endpoint will be called with the parsed result, basically. So all of our model objects are basically serializable to and from JSON.
Okay.
So it's basically natively supported in the language that you can talk to servers, and that's basically my connection point. Like, for example, Adam Bean has a project that gives you like a kind of administration console for Glassfish and Payara, I think.
Cool. Okay.
And I recently built a client for that in DukeScript using the JSON endpoints, and so I'm mainly working with it from the client side.
Okay, that's pretty nice. And actually, one question that we had yesterday is that you know, it's still there's still like opportunities for Java on the client side, and not only for Java technology, but actually for people in their careers to actually invest on Java on the client side.
Sure. Well, it would be stupid if I would say otherwise, because I'm developing a product for this. But also, many of the customers and many of the companies I know here in Germany are using JavaFX. There are even people out there still using Swing, and building on that NetBeans platform applications. I just at the beginning of this year, I got a project offer for a NetBeans platform application.
Oh, cool! Right.
I was really surprised because I'm not doing Swing that much anymore, and I wouldn't want to go back. Actually, I liked Swing, but it had its time.
Okay. So
but there are lots of developers who are creating enterprise applications using Java clients.
Okay. So you said you don't want to go back to Swing, but you know, you do development for NetBeans, for example. Is NetBeans all Swing, right?
Yeah, NetBeans is Swing, but you can create NetBeans plugins in DukeScript.
Oh, that's pretty cool. All right.
So, for example, like if you start,
so you have an example there.
We've got a wizard, and this wizard here is written in DukeScript.
Oh, the wizard
itself is written
in
DukeScript. So demo. There already is a project named demo. Okay. What a surprise. Right. So all of this is DukeScript, and it seamlessly integrates into Swing applications.
Wait. Let me. Okay, I think you got to show that again because it's just so small here. You know,
sorry.
Can you just kind of cancel and show it again?
Okay.
All right. So
in NetBeans, I create a new project, new DukeScript application.
So just
the wizard itself is written in DukeScript.
So the whole wizard is on DukeScript. So can you go back? Right. So that's why
Swing.
That's why it's the only one that has an icon, because everyone else doesn't. I mean, so
no, you can add an icon. You can assign an icon. Just nobody does that.
Nobody does that. So okay.
Because I wanted to stand out here.
Yes, you really do. Right? Okay.
But this is a Swing frame.
Right.
And
yes. Then you do next.
I go forward. This is still Swing. This is DukeScript.
Right. So the
So it
steps.
really-
I'm not sure the mouse shows very well. So the steps on the left
Yeah.
are like swing.
Right.
You know,
And the
you're running on a
locations-
swing panel, and inside is Duke script.
So what I'm now typing something in the Duke script part of the application,
Right.
and you can see the next button lights up, so it seamlessly integrates.
Right.
So this area below here with the next buttons, that is all swing.
Right.
And now you can choose the
No.
archetype to start with.
Go back because we're talking about Duke script again. So you can choose like Android devices, iOS, run in a browser, run as NetBeans plugins. I mean, you have all of those kind of applications you can do with Duke script.
Yes.
Because that's the demo of Duke script, right?
Exactly.
You're creating a Duke script.
And the standard application, so you don't have to choose it, is that you can create a standalone Java application.
No, pretty cool. All right.
So and now you can use a CRUD example. The CRUD example also comes with a server where you can see all these client-server interactions. You can even share the same data model on the client and the server. And I made an example where you serialize, where you use JPA database and with Duke script model objects. That works quite nicely.
Oh man, that's pretty
cool.
And
then you create your project and you basically can start. You can install some sample code if you want.
Okay.
But this is basically a naked object now. Project now, and even if you create a new NetBeans module, and inside the NetBeans module, a new wizard, it will offer you to use HTML Java. They call it. That's basically the NetBeans name for it. But you can use Duke script to write plugins for NetBeans. So you can basically gradually move from Swing or JavaFX to Duke script.
That's pretty impressive. That's pretty. Oh, so now you said one interesting thing. You can move from Swing or JavaFX to Duke script. So Duke script is on the same level as JavaFX and Swing. I mean, not in terms of you choose either Swing or JavaFX or Duke script, right? So that's basically how you
can also mix them, but well, I would suggest to use plain Duke script applications, but we've got customers who are actually mixing Duke script and JavaFX.
Okay, yeah, that's one of the cool thing about Java is that you can actually mix a lot of different frameworks and technologies and things like that. Yeah,
that's really cool. And so the main benefit of Duke script in this, if you compare it to JavaFX, is that we have the HTML CSS, where you have way more resources. Like if you want a designer to help you design your UI, you can just give them a PSD file. They will create XML for you, HTML for you, and CSS for you, and you just add the bindings, and your application is ready. So you don't have to do all the bits pixel shifting and everything.
Okay, that's pretty cool. There's a new way of doing that. Actually, you can even do this with web application, right? Because you showed.
You can even do it with web applications.
Yeah. So, all right. So
I wouldn't probably use it for a regular web page because you have to load the Java virtual machine first, so you will have a small delay.
Yeah.
So for a normal web page, it doesn't make sense. But if there's a lot of logic in there and it's a bigger application, then it definitely makes sense.
Okay. All right. And then it also gets you into Android and iOS and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty amazing. So we started with Duke script. We're kind of in the end. We're just a few minutes to the end. We kind of came back to Duke script. Is this your main project today?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. That's where your company is based and everything.
Yes.
That's really cool. So one of the things I want to say that we're really excited about this week, and I'm gonna kind of ask you a question. Maybe that's something you're not doing much. But this week, the JCP, the Java Community Process, announced a new way for developers to join the JCP. So if you're watching us, we are trying to promote this too. Is that now you can be a JCP associate, and so it's really easy. There's no. In the past, you had to have your company signing these big forms and everything. Now it's all done online. Your company doesn't need to sign anything. It's really simple for you to sign. So we're going to invite you to come and join. But for you, the fact that Java is a standard base, it is open source, does that help you making the decisions for continuing to pushing Java? Is this important for your company? Is this important for your customers? The fact that Java is both open source and has an open standard.
Yeah, for my customers, it's definitely important. For me, it's really nice that it's open source because, but for my customers, it's a kind of some kind of security because there's not only Oracle behind that, but there are other companies contributing to it, and there's a defined process, and that is really something that gives you some kind of security.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So I'm not sure if you guys have any more questions there. Remember, we're almost in the end here. I can't even end this with asking the question of what you did for your career because you already went.
I can make up something else.
Yes, So.
It was when I when I got my first CPC 464.
Come on, yes. Okay, well, maybe way back then, right? So, but before we end it here, let me remind you that you can see all the previous interviews. We do have. Let me thank here. There's a lot of people that are helping us to be here. So let me thank Oracle for supporting us here, and then Gelastic and Dogado, right? Dogado is the Gelastic partner here in Germany, and thanks them for supporting us on this trip. I'd like also to thanks Red Hat because Edson Yanaga is here behind the camera. Say hello, Edson.
Hello.
So Edson Yanaga is Red Hat's developer advocate, and he's here with us. Also, the JCP is helping us out on this, and Otavio Santana is one of the lead. He's expert in several JSRs. Say hello, Otavio.
Hello, Bruno. Hello, everyone.
Right. So we got this good team here, and thanks a lot, Toni, for receiving us here. But to end all of these, Toni, if you, I'm just kind of gets a little bit around the question, but you have run the Java Tools community for a long time, right? So if you had some suggestion for developers, either beginning developers or maybe experienced developers, of what kind of things they should be looking at in terms of technology-wise or future-wise, where you think Java's going or technology is going, what could they be doing now in terms of to keep on into pace with technology, and think like what they can do now in the future for them to be on top of the technology for their careers? Because one of the things that we have on our environment is that things change so fast. Yeah. Right. So what is the thing that from all your experience, from all the tools in the past, tools that disappeared, tools that kept, what is the thing that people can bet on that will carry on forward in their careers? Like, do you have any suggestion?
Yeah, change is going to be there. That's the constant. Okay. In my life, I made a lot of wrong technology decisions.
Okay.
I made some right ones, but a lot of wrong ones. And so I have no good advice how to tell what the next big thing is going to be, because I'm going to be wrong probably most of the time. But I'm trying out a lot of these new technologies to find out which I find really nice and interesting. I mean, just one example. When the iPad came out, I said, like, this is going to be the end of Apple. This is never going to work. Nobody needs that device. Okay, all right. I was wrong, and I own one now. Right. So it's always hard to predict the future.
Yes.
But one thing that keeps you on top of technology is just like trying out.
Right.
Trying new things.
So this is really, really interesting. I think I'm gonna go a little bit over time here. This is really, really interesting because when you a lot of people, they want to know this. I get this question all the time. Oh, should I still learn Java? Is there still opportunity? What is the next big thing? And a lot of people think that, oh, if I don't choose the right thing right now, I'm going to be out of the market, or I'm going to lose, I'm going to miss it. Not. So you have been missing things a lot.
Yes.
And it's still
all of the time.
Right.
Yeah, it is a good thing. But you do a lot of investments in technologies that are not around anymore in a couple of, like, take Angular, for example.
Right.
Angular is totally changed from the last version to the 2.0 version, and or Google canceled a lot of projects in the past that were nice. But this time that you invested there is not lost. It's, you learned something new, and you will have the experience to maybe judge better if a new technology is really that great, and maybe with time you will find a better way of predicting what is going to work, at least in your project.
Yeah.
That's the most important part.
Right. Yeah. So John Summers, that's the guy from Simple Programming. He has some very nice advice for developers. And he tweeted yesterday. I retweeted early this morning. He tweeted yesterday a phrase that I like very much. It's very in line with what you said. That is, plant lots of crops, right? Because even if some of them died off, that doesn't matter. And I think that's what you're doing, right? You're planting lots of different things in different areas, learning all kinds of things. Even learning how to sew, right? And then you're gonna learn all this kind of stuff, and some of those things are gonna pan out, but all of them will help your career.
Yeah, and it's planning is always like that was what I learned when I started having a company. So you have a plan where everything is heading. And you have a business plan or something,
right?
But the business plan never survives contact with the first customer,
right? Okay, yes. Actually, I think this trip here has a lot to do with this, right? Because I'm not sure if you remember, but we planned this. Me, Edson, and Otavio. We were planning this to come here and everything. And the first thing we did was, we had the date that we were arriving, the day we leave. That we had and then we bought the plane from Zurich to Malaga, so we knew when we were gonna get there, and then and at the same time we were talking to a few guys saying, "Oh, we're gonna do this," and then you start giving feedback for us, and then the whole trip changed. All the dates. I think only Dortmund is the only one that kept the same date, right? All the dates changed from the first planning, and we got stuck with the flight to Zurich. Because if you had waited a little bit more, talked with you before, now we have this crazy trip back to Zurich.
Yeah, you have to go to Zurich. You could have returned from Munich.
We could just return from here, right? It's like, and just because we try to overplan, before we actually reach out to customers, right?
But in the end, it worked out great, didn't it? Except for Zurich.
Yes, it worked out great because, okay, so Pasama says, how about posting the links? Yeah, so actually, Pasama, I'm going to type in here, you can, let me just kind of put one link here. Oops, live. Okay, so, all of the interviews are on code4.live. So, and we're going to send links over email, but Duke scripts, right? So let me just put, Duke script, is, I don't know how to type anymore. DukeScript.com, right? So DukeScript.com. Yes, that will take you to the right place. And Chris is saying that you can drive down to Zurich. Yes, we will drive down to Zurich. That's exactly what we're going to do, right? We will actually, we will go back tonight to Buden Secrets. We're going to sleep again in Zvin's house. Yes. He insists that we should go back. So we don't have like a long way before we have a chance to missing our flight.
I see, okay.
So we're just gonna do a crazy thing. And so Chris is asking, was one wrong decision was to invest in NetBeans? I think it's kind of
no. that was one of the best decisions actually.
Okay, that's
and
pretty good.
Still using it and very happy with it.
I'll tell you one thing, Chris. So Toni is part of the NetBeans Dream Team, right? And I was the guy that created NetBeans Dream Team.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So one of the reasons why I met Toni is because of NetBeans. So I think NetBeans is a great decision. It's so forget about it. Okay. So Chris says hello, Edson, and everything. Okay, guys, I think we are totally out of time here. I'm sorry that we can extend a little bit. I'd like to thank you for being with us. And remember that this is the last interview here in Germany, right? Oh no, it's not the last interview in Germany. We're gonna do a special one. Marcus, the guy that's been talking with us right now. So we're gonna do like a special one, a quick one. I'll send you an email with the exact time. We're just gonna wait Marcus to show up here and arrange with him the exact time. But we're gonna do like a quick extra one. We're always trying to get to do this extra one, so it's nice that we're going to see Marcus. So Marcus is going to talk about clean code, and we're going to talk about being a. Come on, Edson, help me out here. software craftsmen, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna get it's very nice because we're gonna get 2 software craftsmen, right? Marcos and Edson. They're gonna sit here and discuss software craftsmanship with you. In a minute, we're gonna send you the link for that. And so thanks a lot for joining us. Thanks a lot for participating. And next week we're gonna be tomorrow we fly to Malaga in Spain, where we're gonna participate on Jay on the Beach, and we're gonna have lots of very cool interviews done from there. Okay, Tony, thanks very, very much for receiving us.
Thanks for having me.
It's really nice to be here in the office. Thanks a lot, man. Okay.
So now let's go for some beers, huh?
Let's go for some beers, right? Before Marcus got here, right? So we gotta go for some beers. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us. I'll stop here this now. Thanks.